Okay, so here's a fun little exercise I've had my students doing that's really great for arpeggio practice with a real concise, focused area of attention, which is inside of a particular scale pattern you know or may know. So this is I'm in the key of A and I'm in the E position here of A, so meaning that the position looks like an E shape, but I'm playing it in the key of A because that's my root note. So the scale pattern in that position looks like so. So that's the A major scale. And so if we play the arpeggios of the chords, the diatonic chords in the key, just to review those, that would be an A major chord, a B minor chord, a C sharp minor chord, a D major chord is our 4, our 5 is an E major chord, our 6 is an F sharp minor chord, our 7 is a G sharp diminished chord, and that's it. And then we're back to A again. 1 is A major, 2 is B minor, 3 is C sharp minor, 4 is D major, 5 is E major, and 6 would be F sharp minor, 7 would be G sharp diminished again, and one once again would be A. But here's the deal. If you're focused in a focused area just in the scale position, what we'll find is we can't play all 7 of those chords twice like I just listed, because we'd run out of space. We'd end up having to go up the neck. So the idea is we're just working in an area. So in this particular area, our position is the 4th fret to the 7th fret. So I'm not going to go beyond the boundary. That's the point of the exercise, is you're not going to go below the 4th fret for this key or above the 7th fret for this key. So you're playing an A arpeggio, so you're playing the 1, the 3, and the 5. And coming back down. Then you're going to simply move to the 2 and go 2, 4, 6, 4, 2. That's a minor arpeggio, minor third and a major third, for those that are more astute to what makes chords with intervals. 3 is minor as well. All right, then 4 is major, so I'm going to return. I've returned to 3, so now I'm just going up the scale to 4. So that's 4, 6, 1, 6, 4. And for those that don't speak this language, basically what you're doing is you're playing a note, skipping a note, and skipping a note. You're playing 3 notes and walking back down. Then you're going to the next note of the scale, skipping a note, skipping another note, and walking back down. And that's your notes of your 2 chord, and so on. So here we go. So the 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, D major, that is, 5 chord, E major, 6 chord, F sharp minor, 7 chord, G sharp diminished, 1 chord, here we go, A major, 2 chord, B minor, 3 chord, C sharp minor, 4 chord, D major, 5 chord right here. Boom, I've run out of room. I can't go higher than the 5 chord because that's the end of that area. Because if I go to the next chord, I can only skip 1 note. Of course, I can find the note up here, but the point of the study is to learn how to see the chords in a position, see the arpeggios and chords in a position. So that's your first exercise, is just to walk up and down each chord. And here we come back around again. Here's Do again. 2. 3, 4, 5. Now walk back down. We can't go any higher than 5, so we're going to go back to 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but there's another note. Here's 7, diminished, and then 1. All right, great. So do that until you can really see it. You feel comfortable doing it. Now the next level up, a really good exercise for practicing fluid playing and flow up and down, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the 1 chord, then I'm going to come down the 2. But the way I got to do that is I got to play the 3 notes of the 1 chord. Then I have to go 1 note further, not skipping a note, but just going up to an adjacent note. And then I'll come down by skipping notes, and that'll be my 2. Let me illustrate that. My 1 chord. Now I'm done. Now I got to go to the next note of the scale. That will be in my 2 chord. That'll be the last note of my 2 chord. So I'm going to skip, and I'll skip again, and lo and behold, I'm back at my 2 here. So now that I've finished that chord, my last note, I'm going to go up adjacently to the next note in the scale. That's my 2, so I'm going to go to my 3. So now I'm going to go up my 3 and then move forward a note and come down my 4. That was my 3 chord. Now I'm going to move up 1 note here, skip again, and I'll land back at my 4. Now I'm going to move up a note. This is my 5. That's my 5 chord. Going up the chord. Now I'm going to move up 1 note, and I'm coming down my 6 chord. Skip from there to here to here. Done with that. Now I'm going to move up a note to my 7. And I'm going to go up my 7 chord, skip a note. Done with my 7 chord arpeggio. Now I'm going to go 1 note higher, descend my 1 chord. Now that I'm done with that, 1 note higher to my 2, ascend, skip again, then ascend to this note, 1 note higher, and descend my 3, skip, and there's my 3. Ascend 1 note, my 4, skip. That's my 4 chord arpeggio, and I'm going to go up 1 more. Now descend my 5 chord by skipping, and that's it. So basically you play all 3 notes of a chord, then move forward 1 note in the scale, and drop down by skipping thirds, and you're arpeggiating the next chord of your scale. So here's A major, down B minor, up C sharp major, down D major, up E major, down F sharp minor, up G sharp diminished, down A major, up B minor, down C sharp minor, up D major, down E major. Cool. Now we're going to go backwards. So we're going to do the same thing. I went like that with my E, right? So I went down my E because I'm descending. Da, la, la. So I'll move to my 4, my next note, and I'll ascend, 4 chord. Go to my next note, descend my 3. Go to my next note, ascend my 2 chord. La, la, going up. Move to the next note down in the scale, and I'm descending 1. Move to the next note of my scale, ascend my 7. Move to the next note of my scale, descend my 6. Move to the next note of my scale, which is 5, and ascend. Next note of the scale coming down, and then down the 4 chord. Next note of my scale is 3, and ascend. Down to the next note of the scale, I'll descend my 2. Now down to the next note of my scale, which is 1. And I can continue because I have more room for 1 more chord. Next note of the scale, 7. And there it is. So here's how that sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6. Right? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7. And man, just thinking through that is really, really helpful in terms of, jamming and playing through scales in a way that many have not done, when they're in that intermediate level of playing. You're playing over an A chord. And you've done this your whole life. And you're just playing notes over the scale. And all that sounds nice, but it starts to sound very homogeneous. Like you hear a lot of like just linear playing, meaning like adjacent notes. Well, if all of those notes work, you can also play arpeggios like the 5 chord. And practice playing that way. It's the same notes, it's just a different approach because you're playing more in thirds. And just practice playing more arpeggio patterns with the scale rather than just linear notes. Anyway, have fun with that.